Come on onto your mat or on a carpet and take a child's pose. Opening your knees up slightly. Let your belly come in between. Place the forehead down. Arms can be by your sides or extended in front of you, whichever is more comfortable. Let yourself completely arrive here. Tune in with your breath, focusing on your inhalation and your exhalation. Stay here for as long as you like. I love starting in child's pose because it calms down the nervous system already and it opens up your low back. And since almost all of us have tight low backs, tight hips, hamstrings, hip flexors, let's stretch them out. So when you're ready, roll yourself up and we'll do just a few cat-cow rolls to warm up the low back and get the hips going. So inhale, arch, look up, stick your tailbone out. Exhale, round the back, tuck the tailbone under. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Do a few of these with your own breath. Go as fast or as slow as you need to. Keeping your shoulders relaxed. Keeping your face relaxed. And then we're going to stretch out our psoas. So step one leg forward and the back leg, make sure you're not on the patella, you're not on your knee bone, but right above it on your thigh. Dropping the tailbone down, pushing it slightly forward. And then you can push the opposite knee away from you, or if that is too much, you can have your hands by your sides. Taking a few deep breaths here. Again, keeping the face relaxed. Keeping the shoulders relaxed. And then transition into a hamstring stretch from here. So you're going to flex the front foot, straighten out the legs, sit back towards your back heel here. If you can, keep the legs straight, so we're really getting into the hamstring attachment behind the knee. If that is too much, you can of course bend the knee. Make sure you're breathing here. And again, keeping the shoulders relaxed, keeping the face relaxed. With your next exhalation, transition back into tabletop. And let's do a few more cat-cow rolls here. Again, inhale arches you. Exhale rounds you. And when you're ready, transition to the other side. So again, please make sure you're not right on the patella, on the kneecap, but just above it on your thigh. You don't want to put too much pressure on that kneecap. And then tuck the tailbone under, push it forward slightly. Again, you can push that opposite knee away from you, or if that's too much, you can place your hands by your sides, down on the mat. It doesn't always have to be the deepest stretch. Much more important to breathe and listen to your body. And when you're ready, transition into your hamstring stretch here. Keeping the front foot flexed. Again, if possible, keep that leg straight. If that is too much, then bend the knee. And breathe. And all of this feels so good after a day of sitting or standing or whatever it is you've been doing. Even if you've been working out, we constantly tighten those muscles. Now we're going to transition into happy cow pose here. So you're going to take the top knee and place it on the bottom knee. And then your feet are by your sides. Now if you have really tight hips, that knee might be a little bit higher up, that's okay. If this is really easy, you can lean forward and have your head rest on your knee and breathe. But if this is quite a bit for you, then just stay upright. Again, really focusing on your breath here, trying to keep the rest of the body relaxed. From here, we're going to get into the piriformis. So you're going to do a figure 4 stretch here. Your foot is on the knee. You're pushing that top knee towards the ground, and you're breathing. If this is way too easy for you, you can take a pigeon, or an in-between would be to lay on the ground and pull the leg towards you into a laying down figure 4. And then from here, we're going to take the bottom shin and parallel it with the edge of the mat. And place the top shin on top. So you're sort of stacking your shins up like firelocks. And if your hips are really tight, that knee is going to be up. That's okay. If this is easy for you, again, you can lean forward. This is not easy for me, so I'm coming back up. You really want to make sure that that bottom leg is parallel to the edge of the mat or whatever you parallel to. But if you don't feel this in your hips, then bring that bottom leg out a little bit more. And then stack the top leg right on top of it. So when you look down between your legs, you have a nice triangle shape. And then, trust me, you're going to feel this. From here, we're going to straighten one leg out. Bring the opposite foot in towards the thigh. And then you can place one hand behind you and reach with the opposite hand for the foot. If that is too far for you, hold on to your shin, your ankle, whatever you can reach. You can also use a strap or a towel. And then if you want more, you can crisscross your hands here and gently pull yourself forward. Now this is not about collapsing towards the thighs, but creating some length in the low back. So think about coming towards your feet rather than towards your thigh, or towards the foot rather than towards the thigh. And when you've had enough, slowly come out of it. Open both legs up. And really make sure you're finding your sit bones here, so you can pull your glutes out of the way to make sure you're sitting on the sit bones and not on your tailbone. Keep the feet flexed and then come on forward. So really keep working on keeping those feet flexed. You can do what I'm doing right here, pushing those legs open a little bit and keeping the feet flexed. We want the feet flexed so that the thighs stay active and they don't roll inwards. And then just come on forward. Kind of cuddle with your little dog. If you, of course, have the flexibility, you can lay flat here. Or you can use your little dog for a pillow. Or make a pillow with your fist to have your head rest. Just hang out here for a moment. Trying to keep the back as flat as possible. So again, it's not about coming towards the ground, but we want to open up those adductors, the inner thighs. And then slowly come on back up. And let's do all of this on the other side. So bring your foot towards the thigh. Square your upper body up over that leg. Again, you can place one hand behind you. And then with the opposite hand, reach to the outside of the foot or your ankle or whatever it is you can reach. If you want more, crisscross it. Take an inhale. And with your exhale, gently come on forward. Again, remember, this is not about coming towards the thigh, but more towards the foot. So we want to create some length in the low back here. You, of course, will feel this in your hamstring as well. When you've had enough, come on back up. Feel free to always hold these poses much longer. I like to hold mine for about 5 deep breaths, but of course, you can always hold them longer. So here we're doing the fire logs again, so that bottom shin is parallel. And then we're stacking the top one like a fire log. Again, if you look down, you have a nice triangle between your legs. And if that's easy, this side is a little bit easier for me. You can come forward. And if this is just too much of a stretch, then just stay up there. You can gently press that knee down a little bit. And of course, breathe. From here, we're going to come into our figure 4. Again, if you want more, you can come onto the ground and pull the knee towards you. Or you can come into a full-on pigeon. But if you have really tight hips, which I'm assuming you do if you're doing this practice, just stay right there. Focus on having the top knee open up towards the ground. And breathe. And then again, we're going to cross the knees on top of each other, coming into cow pose here. Your feet are by your side. Do not worry if that knee is up high, that's okay. With continued stretching, it's going to come further down once your hips open up. So again, you can either stay up or, if you have the flexibility, come forward and breathe. And when you've had enough, coming out of that, transition onto your back, pull your knees into your chest, hug them in tight. You can roll from side to side if you want. And let's come into a happy baby here. In your happy baby, I want you to think about keeping the low back on the ground and then applying just a little bit of pressure to those feet. So you're pushing the thighs towards the ground, opening the hips up a little bit more that way. And when you've had enough, bring those knees back into your chest and then drop them to one side. Look in the opposite direction, and if you want, you can take your hand and just apply a little bit of pressure on that top knee to get more of a stretch here. Try to keep both shoulder blades on the ground if possible. And then slowly inhale, come on back and switch sides. Maybe close your eyes here. Let yourself relax. All you need to do is focus on your breath. And slowly bring those knees back to the middle. Drop the feet down, open your knees up into Baddha Konasana here. If you want, you can just take your shavasana like this. Letting yourself relax here for a few breaths, opening your chest up towards the sky. Of course, after a while, if you want to stay here longer, you can straighten your legs. Thank you so much for watching and doing some yoga with me. Hopefully I'll see you next time.